I'm Caren Glasser here, and welcome to Life Uncorked. Today's segment is all about aging like a fine wine, and who better to have on the show is Terrah Bennett Smith, the producer, director, actress, writer, and mom.
That's
And
right.
she likes to say she's living her bigger, better, bolder, better self every day. Say that 10 times fast. Welcome to the show, Terrah.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Bigger, better, bigger, better, bigger, better, bolder, better. And if you get it and you say it, and that's good. I'm glad you said that because it helps to remind me to say it. I haven't said it in a while.
Well, there
So there
you
you
go.
go. Yeah.
I think of that when I think of you because it's a great tagline.
hmm
So let's just start from the beginning. Back when Terrah, you back then, what's your journey like to get to where you are right now? It doesn't have to be a whole to do, but tell us the short version of your journey.
Well, the short version, I grew up in New York. My mother in what's considered the South Bronx. Not when I was growing up, it was just the Bronx, and then it became the South Bronx. But I'm told now it's being gentrified, so now it's Sobro. Uh, but anyway, so I grew up in what they call Sobro now, and in the projects. And my mother was a single parent for most of when my parents got divorced. I don't remember how old I was,
Mhm.
but in order to keep us nice and busy and off the streets, she kept us involved in the performing arts. So I started dancing at the age of 5 in Elsie Andrews Dance School, and then went on to do theater, musical theater, and vice versa. And that kind of was my bug. I never really enjoyed school the way they teach, and I probably because if back then I might have been diagnosed with a learning challenge.
Mm,
But no one, back then you weren't diagnosing,
right,
you just couldn't focus, basically is what we were dealt with.
right.
So I always knew that I loved the arts, and I would find any way to perform, whether putting on my own little talent shows on the balcony. We had a terrace on each floor in the building where I grew up, and I would do shows, and
Oh,
you'd
I
have to
love
buy
it.
tickets, and all my friends would be in it. So that was kind of my beginning, but I didn't realize how it was nurturing, and it was nurturing and teaching and grooming me to become a producer director. I just knew I wanted to perform, but I didn't know that me putting on my own shows, producing them, getting the talent, getting the tickets was basically producing.
Right.
So I started doing that, and then over the years, kind of got sick of doing musical theater because that's mostly what I was getting in New York. And then I moved. I got my first 2 commercials, and I got my first Broadway show in my teens. And
Wow.
so and then I started a record label in my teens and got an opportunity to tour Europe because I wanted to sing. So I said, well, if nobody's going to give me a record deal, I started my own record
Wow.
with my godfather and a friend of mine. We started a record label. So that's kind of the backstory. Then I moved out to LA and got a real record deal with RCA Records with a girl group, and started doing more television, which I was excited about. The very first thing that I booked was a pilot, a spinoff for The Facts of Life. Uh, Natalie's character was moving to New York. It was going to be called Big Apple Blues, and I was going to be one of her roommates with David Spade and Richard Grieco, and I forgot the other young lady's name. So we were all roommates in the city. It didn't get picked up, but it was a nice experience. So my very first thing that I booked out here was a television pilot,
Ah,
which taught me a lot about the fact that I can have those things, that I could have a record deal, and I'm capable of doing this and I'm
right.
capable of doing that, even though somewhere in the back of my mind, when you grow up in poverty or you grow up with lack, or you lose your mother very early,
Right.
which I did at the age of 16. I lost, basically was parentless. I had aunts who took over but didn't have a
Right.
parent. So with that said, there's a lot of yin and yang that goes on inside of myself. That's the push and pull. So outside of that, I started doing television in front of the camera, and someone asked me to direct something, and I just did it for the fun of it, and found out years later, which adds into what I'm doing now, that I ended up being a director and a producer. I think part of one of the reasons is I like the freedom of doing things the way I like to do them. I'm not very good at a job that I don't like. I've tried a few of them, and yeah, you would fire me with most
What's
people.
interesting, Tara, is that you create. what you want to do. You actually create those entities, those opportunities, maybe when nobody else might give you that opportunity. And so you have spent your career, at least it would appear, creating those opportunities, not
Yeah,
just for you, but for other people as well.
very much so. And with that comes a lot of headache. Just to be honest, it's not always the easiest road,
Right.
but it's a road that fits who I am better than me
Right.
sitting around waiting. So
So what would you say is driving you right now?
what drives me is basically that there are no other options. If I don't do it what I love, then what happens? I'm kind of here until we are no longer here, until we make our transition. If you're not trying to push forward and finding new ways to live your life and be creative and go after the things you want, then what is the point of this journey that we're doing?
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
so I guess that's what drives me is the fact that I just won't take no for an answer. And it may not appear to work one way, so I look for another way to get around it. I don't like anybody to put a brick wall up in front of me, even
Right,
though I may want to cry that particular day because there's a brick wall in front of me. I'll
right.
cry and then I figure out how to kick the wall down and
How
go
to
around
kick the
it.
wall, how to
Yeah.
kick the wall down.
It's just a desire that as long as we're here, we have an opportunity as long as we're here, we can move, we have sane mind, we're physically able to get up and move about.
Right.
We have a duty to ourselves to honor us as individuals because
Amen.
I have friends of mine who are younger than me who are struggling physically with health issues that I know that if they would give their limb to be able to get back up and walk the way they used to walk and not be going to the doctor every day or not be trying to figure out,
Right.
you know I would just love to be able to do my craft or do my art. And when you don't have that opportunity, um, things look different. And I don't want things to look different because I let it slide or I didn't give it my best.
I think it's so important what you're saying. I mean, truly. And it is very inspiring. And the next, I was going to say, what inspiration can you give to someone who is starting something new, maybe in this chapter in life? And you're kind of already saying it is don't stop.
Yeah, this year, 2023 was the year I became a senior, official senior, as they say.
High five, Tara.
High
Okay.
five. And seniors, when we were told about them, they did not look like us to me. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't remember
You're
them
not
looking
wrong. You're not wrong.
like this.
Right.
I don't remember, too many that I knew could just go, hike 4 or 5 hours to work out, lift weights, take
Right.
classes. I don't remember that. So I think for me, for you, whatever age, it's like until you're dead, you're not dead. And until
Agreed.
until they come to get you, you have an opportunity to reinvent yourself. Right now, I'm the CCO, Chief Content Officer of a new company called Inyani. I've never been in the C Club because I strayed away from jobs, but this particular venture spoke to me because I get to do everything I love to do,
Right.
plus be a CCO, be in charge, do it the way
How
I love.
fun. So
So
that's something new for you.
this is
That is,
very new. This
so
all
that's
happened
what's
this
next.
year. It
So
happened
what's
this
next?
year.
That is for you. What's next?
And what's next is the opportunity to travel and be on and to employ myself in any of the fields that I love. And then to be of service. I'm opening up, hopefully soon in 2024, a creative arts center. I'm starting small with a venture with a friend of mine. I have that going. I have Inyani going. And
I'm
I'm hope
exhausted. I'm exhausted listening to
but
you.
those are the things. I'd love to have a creative arts center, that a place that I used to go to when I was young, that helped me to hone my crafts and my craft, and just have a camaraderie with other
Yeah.
like-minded artists. So yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you, and I know it's a lot of you out there, would like to stay connected to Tara, you can go visit her website at reclaimhaven.com. What are they going to find there, Tara?
They're going to find a lot of things that where I have workshops and things for women, especially for women who want to redesign. I do a thing called redesigning your blueprint and rewriting your script.
Oh,
So, you can do it at any age. So that's what you're going to find there, plus some things on what I do in my workshops, and a little bit more about me.
And they can find you on Facebook at Terrah Bennett Smith, and they can also find you on Instagram at the Terrah Bennett Smith. Any last thoughts you would like to share with our audience?
Just my quote that I say on a regular basis: you woke up this morning, everything else is profit.
Yes. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. We know you have a choice. Go out and give someone an awesome day. And Terrah, thank you again, and we'll see
Thank you,
everyone
guys.
next time. Bye-bye, everyone.